Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It is time for another wrestling review. With me again, we have Campo.Reviews, who reviews movies, TV shows, and wrestling now. This is one of the last 3 reviews of the year. There's 2 more events this year, and we will review them all. And we're going to be reviewing this week the Return of the Dragon, Ricky Steamboat's last match, presented by Big Time Wrestling. But before we get into that review, I want to remind you guys, I am ever so close. We got 1 month left, guys, before the end of the year, and I am 15 subs away. That means 4 weeks. That means just 4 subs a week. That's all I need is 4 subs a week to hit 250, and we'll reach our 2022 goal and head into 2023 on a great note. So with that out of the way, welcome back, Campo.
Hi.
Hello. So
I work here.
You work here. First time caller, long time listener.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be the recurring theme. So tonight, as we said, anytime there's going to be a special event, we're going to review it. We're not going to go hardcore like we did with the NWA and all that. But when it's an event like this, especially something as historic as Ricky Steamboat's last match, I think we need to cover it since we covered Ric Flair.
Yeah, special events and promotion's largest event, I think. Like everyone's WrestleMania.
Yes. Like we'll probably try to do Triple Mania next year. We'll try to maybe even that Billy Corgan show that they're going to be doing.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get to that.
We'll see if we can get to that.
We'll review the Smashing Pumpkins.
And Interpol. With that out of the way. So I did not watch the Battle Royal, did you?
No, I didn't even know there was a Battle Royal.
Yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere. Apparently Scott Steiner won, and
they didn't even talk about it. No. You're basically telling me news right now. I had no idea there was a Battle Royal.
The last 3 people in the ring were Tommy Dreamer, some random indie guy, and Scott Steiner. The random indie guy eliminated Tommy Dreamer, and as he eliminated Tommy Dreamer, Scott Steiner, I think the only reason why Steiner won is I don't think Steiner can go over the top rope. He might die.
Yeah, he could. He might explode.
Yeah, he might implode.
Yeah, just create a black hole on the ringside.
Through his chainmail helmet. He wore the whole thing throughout the match.
Really?
Yes. Apparently so.
He was probably drunk.
Probably. But it had nothing to do. I think it was just more of like a nostalgia pop with showcasing some.
Well, I can only imagine how little people were there during the Battle Royal, because it took them 3 matches before the crowd even arrived at the arena.
The crowd actually were there earlier. They had to leave the arena and come back in because they had the Fan Fest earlier in the day.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah. So a lot of these people probably went home, grabbed something to eat, probably got drunk, forgot the show was on, and it was in Putty's backyard, so who knows what they do.
It's really strange that they even did that. Why wouldn't you just do the Fan Fest and go right into it?
Yeah, because they had to set up the ring. There was no ring at Fan Fest.
Should have just left the ring there.
Yeah, but apparently at Fan Fest you had Ron Simmons, the Steiner brothers, Kane was there, a few other legends, Slaughter, who makes an appearance later in the show. But with that out of the way, we're gonna go right into the first match, which was the match of the aging veterans, Matt Hardy and an even older Crowbar. I have not seen Crowbar since WCW 1999.
He was great in WCW. They just didn't let him do anything.
Yeah. And he was in WWE for a cup of coffee too.
Yeah, after the merger.
Yeah. But under the name, I think Evan Courageous was his name.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Vince McMahon, so it's probably a really stupid name.
Like Austin Theory.
Yeah. Just incredible. I don't know. It was fine.
It's 2 recognizable names, so it popped the crowd huge when they came out.
Yeah,
and that's what it was for.
The match was fine. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. There was a really nice spot on the
barricade.
Yeah, on the barricade thing and then when it fell, that looked like it really hurt.
Yeah. But I don't know how many more of these bumps Matt Hardy can take.
His legs don't work.
He literally is at this point broken Matt Hardy.
Yeah, he's the actual living version.
He actually is broken Matt Hardy right now. So, but it was a fine match. It wasn't and I like that Phantom of the Opera guy with the beard there.
That's so good.
But yeah, and commentators for the match. I didn't catch the other guy's name, but we also had Shane Douglas, which
Yeah, they sucked.
yeah, they weren't very good.
I mean, Shane Douglas had some decent stories.
Yeah, I think that's what it was there for. One was a commentator, the other one was just there for
I think
stories.
he's part of Big Time Wrestling.
Yeah, he is the main, not Shane, the other guy.
Yeah.
Bruce something was his name. Yeah. Next was Matt Hardy goes over. He did there was a ref distraction, low blow, the side effect, and it's over. It wasn't a very long match. Next was actually a pretty good match. Was Brian Pillman Jr. against Kerry Morton for the newly crowned NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, Kerry Morton, putting his first defense.
Hey, we both want this guy to be the
do
face.
Well. Yeah.
Especially...
And both these guys, like, I mean, the charisma of Pillman Jr., man, like, come on, like, he oozes charisma, this kid. He's going to be a star too if he's put.
NWA's in a weird spot too.
Yeah.
With the Aldis and the Cardona situation, they're in like a weird place. Hey,
in a few weeks, you'll see that episode. We're going to talk about Cardona and his wife as well.
But I mean, this match was good.
Yeah, it was.
It wasn't anything special, but it was good. It was worth my time. At this point, I'm starting to notice how tiny the ring is.
Yes.
And it's not even like...
It wasn't 20 by 20. I think it was 17 by 17 or 18 by... It was a little smaller than...
to me, that looked like 14 by 14. I'm surprised they fit anybody in the ring.
Yeah, especially in the main event when they did the main tag and they did that final spot, which we'll talk about later. But
it's so weird to me that, like, I understand not everyone has as much money as everybody, clearly. But, like, the ring should all be made...
a standard size.
Not even size. They should all be made to the same quality. Like, when you're setting up an event this big, you shouldn't have floppy ropes and really janky looking base, like the mat where it was making like weird noises in some spots.
Especially with someone who has like back injury and back problems like Ricky Steamboat. You want the safest ring out there as possible.
Like those ropes were so loose. Every time someone stood on them, it went like all the way down.
Yeah, it looked, when they were trying to get through them, it just flopped. It was pretty bad. But like I said, these two kids, it's a great showcase of talent, this match. These two kids are going to be good stars. AEW does not know what they have right now with Pillman Jr.
If they're not planning to give him a push, then I think they need to let him go, because I promise you NWA or Impact would love to give him a push.
Yeah, and I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to go maybe ROH and hone his talent there and become a real... I think because like right now was it Griff Garrison, his tag partner there?
Yeah, he got to go.
Yeah, Griff Garrison. I really like that match we watched with Ric Flair's last match where he and Anderson teamed up as the New Horsemen. That was a good team, and I could see
if they could get like Anderson, you get Pillman.
And throw in Tessa Blanchard.
Yeah, fine. And then put Ricky Morton Jr. What's his name? Sorry, I don't know what his actual name. Terry Morton. Carrie.
They're all going to laugh at you.
And put them all... I make them the Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
I mean, but no one wants to work with Tessa Blanchard. That's the problem.
No, she's toxic right now.
She's blacklisted.
Yeah.
But, hey, this is fine. I would like to see a full circle story for Pillman where... when he starts becoming a star, maybe they put Julia Hart back with him.
Yeah. But,
or like he frees her from the House of Black at some point.
Because right now they're referring to as Julia Black.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah.
They came back so well.
I was worried Malachi wasn't going to come back, but no, he just needed some time off. And
anyways.
And that's going to be a good setup against Death Triangle once, or even the Elite once we figure out who's the winner of the best of 7 series.
Either we're way off topic, but either Death Triangle is going to win this series and just look really good, or they're going to Wikipedia the Elite to immediately lose it to House of Black, because they need to put gold on Malachi before he's like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, and I think that's the perfect title for them to put on it.
And as soon as Miro comes back, he's winning something as well.
I could see Miro destroying Orange Cassidy.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
Let Cassidy have a good run, let Miro come back, and then have, or Miro or even Andrade if he comes back. One of those guys needs something. I would even push Andrade into the main event picture.
Well,
at this
now
point.
you can have Rush Andrade and 10 as
That's true. Preston Vance, yeah,
as a trios, right?
yeah, because he
Yeah,
turned
I
his
would have
back.
loved it to
But
be Dragon Lee, but we digress.
I digress. Back to the show at hand. Next you had a outdoor promo by the Briscoe brothers.
Yeah, this has become a thing.
Yeah,
Where they
but
go to their farm and just
they're
film
so
their
good
thing.
at being heels, though. These guys.
You know what's funny? Like, in the least weird sounding way, I watched like a couple classic matches with them, and dude, they were like two really good looking guys.
Yeah,
and now they look like fucking crackheads. Like, what the hell happened?
they actually look like
I saw them when they first were in Ring of Honor. I was like, holy crap, this is the same two people.
Is this when they were like clean shaven?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They were like two little pretty boys that probably got every girl in the arena, and now they look like horrible.
Matt Briscoe missing all those.
He has no teeth.
Mark Briscoe, yeah, he's got him as a redneck kung fu. Next, we had the big time wrestling heavyweight championship match. Kerry Morton goes over, retains.
Yeah.
Then Brian attacks Kerry after the match.
I like that.
This is what I think this feud may be continuing into the NWA. I think AEW is going to kind of loan him out to the NWA for a little while and have a good feud with maybe even have him win a match, like win the title for a little bit.
I think AEW is starting to realize that they need to follow the Japanese wrestling and letting the young guys go on excursion. So that way they get used in companies, because there's a lot of small companies, MLW, stuff like that, that would be happy to use.
Okay, but guys. even take something like a page out of international soccer. Teams loan players to other teams for 3, 4, 5, 6 years at a time. Sometimes they don't even take them back. And like, he can stay on the AEW payroll, just have him get that experience.
And he'll get featured in these places. He'll be a number one guy in some of these places.
Yeah, like I could see Pillman Jr. like against Josh Alexander. Like, come on, man. Or a speedball Mike Bailey against.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah. So like, even just to start off, but yeah, Kerry Morton goes over. I have a feeling Pillman will be heading to the NWA to do a little stint over there, maybe even win the belt, to lose it back, just to give the your whole Wikipedia thing.
That's what we call it now. It's just become this Wikipedia thing.
Yeah. But heading into the next match, we had Danny Miles, which is the big time wrestling champion, against Facade. First thing I saw when I saw Facade is he the missing member of the Island Boys. There's a 2022 meme for you guys.
Oh, good. Congratulations.
He does. He looks like one of the missing.
He does.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna freestyle there for a second there, but Teddy, go ahead.
He came out and his girlfriend, sister,
Valet,
whatever, she was featured on AEW the other night.
That's right.
Like, there was a whole angle. Like, they're just trying. I don't know if any of this is true now. Like, I don't know what to work or shoot anymore in AEW, because, like, did Athena really shoot in that fight where she got suspended, or was that a setup for her now to be this wild person? Because in that match with this girl, she literally demolished her. Like,
I think that's a setup. Yeah, I honestly think it's a setup. It has to be, because if it's not a setup, if it's a shoot, they would have cut out right away.
But it seemed like prepared. Like, if you watch it, did you watch Rampage?
Mm-hmm.
So she puts a mouth protector in and immediately gets like full on punched in the face. It was like she knew it was coming, so I'm going to put this mouth guard in. Yeah, I'm just going to take this punch in the face.
She normally doesn't wear a mouth guard.
Yeah, see.
So
and she took a few hard hits.
I think this is to make Athena look strong again.
Yeah,
to go up against Cargill again.
Well, they're going to make her win the belt off Mercedes Martinez.
You think it's going to be for the ROH?
Happening. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that match is official now. Yeah. Okay, so there you go. That's what's going to happen.
A very pretty girl, by the way. Also, back to Island Boy guy.
Mm-hmm.
This match had a few high points, but like generally it was very indie style wrestling.
Yeah, where I find Danny Miles, he's very generic creator wrestler. Like if you had to WWE 2K22,
it's strange that he's the champion.
Yeah, but whatever. I haven't seen much big time wrestling, so I don't know their roster. So
neither have I.
Yeah, so I can't really say much. But I mean, it was a decent little match. Like I think this one went a little too long, though, if you ask me.
It did, but it's because it's their premier two wrestlers. Yeah. So I think they're trying to give them
A little bit of
time.
shine. Yeah.
The other guy was really good. What was his name? Blonde Ninja or Jumpy McJumper Pants?
Facade?
Yeah, Facade. There you go.
Island Boy.
Yeah, he has some moments, but like
Yeah.
it was very spot heavy. Between his nice spots, it was there was like nothing really.
Yeah, because the other guy's very much a ground worker. Like he works the ground, that guy. He's
It
not
was
a
fine.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad match.
I
It wasn't.
wouldn't be like, oh, I'm so upset I had to watch this, but like
No.
you could tell this was shoehorned in because it's hosted by Big Time Wrestling.
Yeah, they had to have their big title there somewhere. Next we get a big match here. This was the final match for the Rock and Roll Express in this arena against the Briscoe. One thing this show suffered from is whenever they were using the in-arena mic, you could not understand
there was
anything.
audio. And listen, you know, I'm not usually that person, but I'm docking so many points from them for like errors that they made in this pay-per-view. The camera angles were bad sometimes.
Like there was a few times they went behind like the pillar there, and like
I don't get it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, they did really poor with the crowd shots. The mics
arena
were not working.
The arena looked fairly big, so I don't understand why they had to condense everything into this little.
It felt very New Japan-ish, where it's like
they could have expanded the area around the ring too.
Yeah, I feel like they just wanted everybody on the floor there in that spot, and they only let people sit in the bleachers that were like the farthest bleachers away. Everything else was like closed off.
Yeah, I noticed that at the end too. But I mean, this was they're going to it starts off slow. What do you expect? Like these guys are like close, they're pushing 70.
But
and Robert Gibson is coming off an injury too.
Yeah.
So
but they worked. They know how to work a match.
Ricky Morton, this guy pulls out a Canadian Destroyer at the end. Like, what the hell, man? Like, picture my dad or your dad doing a Canadian Destroyer.
Yeah, I can barely picture them like eating dinner. They understand how to work 70. Like the same way that Sting does. It's very limited. I'm going to go hard for one match a month, if that, and the rest of the time is just going to be me standing around. And they know
work and
they know how to do it. They get in there. They go very light. They do the one big spot that they're going to do. They end the match. And working with the Briscoes must be great because
the Briscoes, they're like on the same level as Jay Lethal, where
they're like an FTR.
They take care of you in the ring.
Yeah.
Like they look like they're beating the shit out of you, but they're taking care of you.
They're, like I said, if we remade our lists of like tag team wrestlers,
which could happen,
which we should definitely do the one where we give them points, assign points and pick it. But the Briscoes are arguably top 10 all-time tag teams, maybe even higher than that. On just they're so talented.
I think because when we did that list, we were still fresh to the newer product that we still had.
None of us were watching wrestling except you and Caps.
Yeah, and Cap's not even that much because he still watches all. Like he didn't care for the Bucks, and
he's mostly WWE focused.
Yeah,
but like our list was very WCW and WWE heavy.
Yeah, we
did have FTR. Had the Bucks, I think.
I had FTR in my number 2. Yeah, and I think Putty had Lucha Bros.
Oh, that was for our AEW list. We did. Me and you and Caps did just best tag teams of all time. Best tag
teams. That's right. Yes. Okay.
That was our yearly AEW list we did with Putty.
Yes, with Putty. That's right. But I mean, like you said, the Rock and Roll Express know how to work. I like that image of Jay Briscoe with the chair stuck to.
Yeah. Okay. I like that was kind of scary because that thing definitely was sharp and like he could not get his head out of it.
Yeah.
So like I imagine that it hurt when it went across his face.
Going through is not so much. It's removing it that would have probably hurt.
But it probably it scratched up his face good, and it was like it's around his throat, right? And it's all
like that plastic. Yeah, it's like plastic wicker or whatever it was. Like it was. Yeah, it looked like it hurt. But still, it was a fun match for what it was. Rock and Roll Express go over. Obviously, this is obviously a Legends heavy show. They're gonna put the Legends over heavy.
The Legend work here was a lot better than Ric Flair. We'll just get that out of the way now.
I can agree with that. Next you had our only female match of the night, which was Savannah Evans, which we've seen many times on AEW, against Amber Nova,
who we've also seen many times on
AEW. Yeah.
And
so
on
this
NWA.
So this is two people that we're fairly familiar with. It wasn't a bad match either. Savannah Evans.
I couldn't get into this. It was just so slow paced.
This was clearly that buffer match between the two main events, if you want to call it.
Yeah, it was time everyone to go pee-pee and come back.
That's why this match was so short, too.
After watching New Japan crossover, there's no such thing as women's wrestling to me anymore.
After watching the crossover, women's wrestling standard is now up here, and the rest, they're all over here now.
We already were like AEW and Impact were pushing the limits. Yeah. And now, like, after watching that,
it took it to a whole other level.
I legitimately, like, I'm sorry, I can't watch any of the women's matches on the weekly AEW anymore. It's just so garbage compared to watching that. And it's like I'm waiting for Impact. I need my Slamovich versus Grace rematch.
Which they did at Overdrive. Did you watch it?
Oh, I forgot about Overdrive. Okay.
We're not reviewing that, guys. It was a fun show. We'll talk about it on our State of Wrestling for December. We'll talk about it on the State of Wrestling for December, so Campo can watch it, which will be out in a few weeks.
As well as catching up on the 90 million tag champions thing league.
I'm so far behind on that. I'm so far behind.
I'm on day 5.
Okay, I'm on day 7, so we're not that far off. Short match ends. It's like I said, it was that break in between match. Everybody, you could see that the arena was half empty at this point because everybody went for a hot dog, beer run, bathroom break, whatever it was. I hate to say it, but it's true. But
it wasn't a good match. I mean, I agree with you that it wasn't like a terrible match. It wasn't
because
bad.
Our standards are so high now.
Yeah, it wasn't bad, but like in terms of me watching this, if I was in the arena, sure. But like at home, I don't even want to watch this match. You just announced 2 names that who the hell wants to watch this match?
Yeah, people that we see on Dark or Elevation.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so that get a beating by like Julia Hart when she wasn't good yet.
But after that, we head into our main event of the night. It's Ricky Steamboat and FTR against Brock Anderson, Jay Lethal, and a mystery partner, which turns out to be Nick Aldis himself. His first appearance post NWA.
So somehow I already knew it was Nick Aldis.
Because I told you.
No, but I think I think we even talked about it before.
Yeah, I think we may have mentioned that that's the only person really that could have.
I think someone it had to have been leaked somewhere and we heard it. Like it could have been on one of those YouTubes. Either way, we digress. Great, Nick Aldis.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
like I mean, where is Nick going to go from? Yeah. And the first thing I put down was this is a great moment for someone like Brock Anderson to just absorb and learn out of all the pros that are in the ring. Like Arn Anderson knew what he was doing, putting his son in this match.
Yeah, and it was a special moment for Anderson and Steamboat.
Yeah. To bury the hatchet after all these years. And
it's like, and he's going to be good. He's only been wrestling 18 months. He's living the Rick Steiner's kid's life at this point.
Yeah.
What's his name again? Braun Breaker, where it's he just decided I'm going to start wrestling one day and just was good at it.
Yeah. It's in his genes. Like Braun Breaker is the best things about Scott Steiner and the best things about Rick Steiner in one. They Frankensteinered. Literally.
Frankensteinered. Nice.
You like that one.
That was good.
But yeah, this was fun. The crowd really got up for Ricky Steamboat. Like, can we talk about how good Jay Lethal is?
Yeah, Jay Lethal's like, I've been saying this.
Yes,
he's one of the best.
Like just how you're watching him protect Ricky Steamboat. Like, because I know I'm watching for that, but people who are not realizing that Lethal is protecting Steamboat, like it just looks, he made it look so good.
Yeah, he has this really smooth way of taking the bump for the other person, but making it look like they're taking all the damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was a good showing.
Steamboat actually, first of all, Steamboat's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Absolutely. Who may appear on a list who's never won a major.
Yeah, he was very in shape.
Mm-hmm. And whatever wasn't in shape, they did a good job with the Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, but I mean, for his age,
Yeah,
I
he's in
think
great shape
compared
for a
to
man.
what Ric Flair looked like an old man who just got out of a wheelchair.
You know
Steamboat
what
did not look 70.
Ric Flair looked like Mumra from the Thundercats.
Yes. Okay. There you go. He looked like an old grandpa at your wedding. You know what I mean? The Steamboat didn't look like that.
No.
Mind you, you know he's like 69 or whatever,
yeah. But I mean, he still pulled off those arm drags flawlessly.
Oh, when he did it, the crowd popped like crazy.
Yeah. There was that spot at the beginning of the match where he had them in the headlock and he trying to head scissor him out of it and he couldn't quite do it. And the announcers, I just want to say, they did a really good job saying, you know, Machismo has that headlock in so tight that Ricky can't even.
Yeah, and they both sold it with the announce team in a way that looked like, oh, he's trying to scissor him, but he can't, so he's just hitting him with his leg so that way he can get out of it.
Yeah, so
then they adjusted positions. This match worked so well. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say this was an amazing match, but it worked so well on so many levels, and it just shouldn't have. And every time Steamboat wasn't in the ring, the match really picked up.
Yeah, like there's a spot when Dax tagged in for the first time against him and Lethal. It was just like people who've seen that. Was it this past week? Didn't Dax have the match against Danielson? Yeah. Wasn't that like that was a great match there?
It was actually. Dax can go.
Yeah.
Cash can go too, but the thing is, Cash doesn't seem very keen at all on testing his solo. Like he doesn't want to wrestle alone.
Yeah, he prefers the tag wrestling, which they excel at. So you can't really, right? Seven stars.
It's a good team.
But yeah, I mean, it was a fun match. It was good. It was good to go for Rick Steamboat. I was going to call him Ric Flair, but Ricky Steamboat to go out on top. There was a spot at the end of the match where all the baby faces put all the heels in the figure 4 leg lock, and they all tap out at the same time. This way, it gives Ricky this last win, but it doesn't really make anyone look bad because no one person took the pin.
Also, I don't think in these matches anybody looks bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that Jeff Jarrett cared that he lost.
No, but you don't want someone like Brock Anderson to take the pin in this match.
Yeah, okay. He's the only one that I would say. Because, like, Jay Lethal totally would have took a pin.
Oh, yeah. Lethal would have taken the pin. Aldis, I don't know, maybe not so much because Aldis is trying to shop himself around right now.
Aldis is going to go to WWE.
You think so?
Yeah, or Japan.
I could see him in Japan.
It's going to be one way.
I don't think he's too big of a name to go back to Impact right now.
Yeah, he's not.
And there's no room for him in AEW right now. So
even if I got a contract from them, I wouldn't want it because there's nowhere for you to fit in.
Yeah. Unless he's the one who comes in and destroys Cassidy and has like this historic run with the All Atlantic belt. But I digress. Fun little match. Fun for what it was. Ricky Steamboat's last match. I wasn't expecting blow the doors off, but I mean, I wasn't disappointed with it.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, wasn't
as a whole event. I wasn't thrilled.
Yeah,
it passed some time. It wasn't long.
No, that's another thing.
It was nice. 2 hours.
Perfect length.
Yeah.
So, what would you give this match or this show?
You gave a rating first.
Okay, I gave it just a little bit better than the last WWE show. Well, no, the last WWE show was horrible. I gave it a 7.2, 7.3, somewhere in between there. Because it wasn't bad. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as like that WWE one we just as bad.
Yeah,
as
but I would rather watch this than I'll give it a 7. Okay. Because realistically, I would say it's like a 6.9, but I would rather have watched this than War Games.
Yes, absolutely. I had more fun watching this than I did War Games. Other than the triple threat match, which I went back to watch.
And there was a lot of cool cameos, seeing Slaughter and all those guys, and
for a little bit of a nostalgia pop. I think that's why I gave it a little higher. But yeah, fun little show. If you have the time, if you have 2 hours to kill, go out and watch it. It's available.
She goes.
Anyway, guys, thanks again for joining that. We keep this one short and sweet. We'll see you next week for the review of NXT Deadline or Ring of Honor Final Battle, whichever comes first. We'll decide that on Tuesday. So we'll see you on Tuesday for one of those two reviews. With that out of the way, thanks again for joining us, and we'll see y'all later.